Hey everybody, this is Mickey Williams with My Life Out Loud with Mickey. Just coming to you with a little short video. Happy Sunday. I know that Sundays are very quiet, laid back and relaxed for me, but I just wanted to get on here and just make sure that I was still reiterating because it was brought to me again today when I was in the shower. God was actually showing me the difference between spiritual and carnal, and it's such a thin line because when I talk about spiritual confidence and when I talk about carnal confidence, it's two different things. Because when you're dealing with a spiritual person, they're actually confident in the spirit for a reason. And some people that's more confident in the spirit might have been more weak in their carnal life, right? And some people that's carnal in the spirit, that's confident in the carnal, is more weak in their spiritual life, which I said before. But to go into a little bit more detail, which I'm sure it's not hard to catch, but it's just something I feel as though that I need to elaborate on because it is so important to know the difference, right? Because what happens is us as spiritual people, some spiritual people attack carnal people and carnal people attack spiritual people, right? It's like a war. It's good versus evil, right? But then you got some carnal people that want to be spiritual but don't know how because they feel as though they've done too much in order to become spiritual. And then you got spiritual people that enjoy the carnal, but they know that if they go too carnal that they're doing too much, and that brings them out of their spiritual. So that's why I talked about that balance. And us being as spiritual people, we have the anointing to be able to get instructions from God in order to be able to bless other people. Now carnal people, they have their way of doing things, and I don't really want to separate us because we're all people. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to separate it in a way to say that we're two different people, but we got just some people have different belief systems. And as a spiritual believer, we believe a little bit different because we believe in making the proper changes or following God and allowing God to fight our battles. Where more so carnal people are more independent and they want to just basically they fight their own battles and they do the best they can. And then sometimes they can be defeated and really don't, realize it, but don't really know how to come out of it. So it's just so much. But the reason I bring this back as a conversation again is because I know that most of the time as spiritual people we do have weaknesses as well because we're human, and because we're human we can take our problems and lay them at God's feet and be okay, right? But then at the same time we go to deal with people that's not equally yoked to us. Okay, and when they're not equally yoked to us, then we try to get things from them that they can't give us. So this is for basically for my men and women out there that's in relationships, or it could be missionships, workships, situationships, whatever it is, any ships, right? So just know that when you're dealing with somebody that's not as spiritual as you can't expect that person to be able to fill your cup. Okay, you really got to have people that's in your circle, that's in alignment with your life, that's equally yoked to what you're trying to do spiritually. And that's how you feel back up. You go to God, you pray about it, you talk to people that that's on your same level of spiritual confidence, that they can speak into your life and build you back up. They can speak one word and it'll change everything that day. Okay, but then when we deal with people that's kind of on the cusp, they know God, they love God, they pray, or but yet they're still, they're putting themselves first in their life and not God first in their life, right? Or other things first in their life and not God first in their life. The spiritual people, we put God first. More people that's more carnal but love God, believe God, they kind of put other things first, right? Not God, right? But they do know God, but they just figure okay, God put me on this earth and I'm gonna make it happen, right? But then when times get hard and times get tough, then they get in them tough spots and them tight spots, and then they got to call upon them prayer warriors to come help get them out, right? So we know how this all works. This is not new to none of us, but whoever this is for, this is just basically to say, when you dealing with people that is not as spiritual as you and is unequally yoked, don't expect your man, your woman, your best friend, your friend, somebody else to understand it. You have to be able to surround yourself with like-minded people. Okay, people that has the same goals as you, the people that is striving for change like you. Other than that, that's kind of what makes us black sheeps, right? Because we have different things in mind for our lives, and we are changing and doing different things, and we're growing, we're evolving, we're growing past, maturely past things that no longer serves us, frequencies that no longer, basically serves us, frequencies that's too low. We're going for higher things. We're going higher and higher. We're reaching for heaven. You know what I'm saying? If I'm reaching, I'm reaching for heaven. If I'm reaching for Jesus. I'm reaching for God. So we're going about things differently. And a lot of people cannot fill your cup because they won't know how. Okay? So at the end of the day, I know there's some people that are in situations with people and they want them to be able to understand them, but they probably can't, right? They probably can, because the same thing you need, they may need. Matter of fact, they probably need you more than you need them. So you just have to find people in your life that's like-minded, like you, people that's striving for the same goals, because the people around you that love you don't understand you, or might not understand your walk with Christ, might not understand where you're going in your spiritual life. Because they don't understand you does not mean give up. Because they don't understand you does not mean that you have to do the things that they want you to do when you're around them, for that way you can look like them. Nah. Own your difference and be yourself, okay? It will all work out. And I said this yesterday, but I'm just like, it hit me again this morning. Like, it will all work out. It's just two different type of people in this world, and you got to choose what team you on. And trust me, if you on God's team, you on a winning team. You cannot lose. It may look like everybody around you might be like, she tripping. Oh, you look like you losing friends. You look like when you go certain places, people don't look at you the same because you don't look the same. You taking that old man off and putting on a new man. Everybody's not going to understand that. And then you got people that's jealous of that because now your light is brighter. It's no longer dim. So now they can see the light in you and they like, well, how you get that? Because they still so dark, right? But that's why I said what I'm learning to do. I met for lunch with somebody yesterday, and what I got out of that was I heard everything that person had to say, but I could see that person was in a state of confusion. So what I'm learning is that the Leviathan spirit, the spirit of confusion that has people confused, that has people in a place, that spirit is real. That narcissistic spirit, that spirit is real. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm listening to people now, I give advice like, oh, don't worry about that. It's easier said than done, because people don't need to hear, don't worry about that, or it's going to be all right. They need to hear a word that changes things. They need to hear a word that heals them. They need a word that knows how to change their minds and their hearts in that moment. So all I could do is look at that person and not really, I could say what I said, but the best thing I could do is what God has showed me. When I walk away, what I heard was, I need help. I'm still suffering from some things and I don't know how to change it, right? But I already know the reason why you don't know how to change it, because sometimes your life is not your own, even when you're dealing in darkness. So it's best when you in light, your life is not your own and Jesus is in charge. God is your redeemer, right? He's he's basically is our refuge. So therefore, but when you in darkness, it's different. It's like you don't know what's taking over. You know your heart is good and you want to do better, but you don't know why these things just keep pulling on you, these strongholds that you created along the way, because you kept saying yes. You kept saying yes to the stronghold. You kept saying yes to these spirits. So now they became strongholds and they don't want to let you go. Okay? So now it's like when I see people in those places, and I'm still growing myself, but I know too that those people, I've met people like that and God can use them, right? And speak a word in my life, right? But then I also know that those people are going through something. Everybody is going through something. So even me, if I'm talking to you about something that sounds like I need help, and if you know God and Jesus Christ is your Lord, say, pray for me. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I did for him. That's all I'm saying. Like, be careful of, who you're trying to get to fill your cup. Because some people you sit at the table, you can't eat with everybody. Some people got poison in their food. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be able to be careful of who you eat with, who you share things with. You got to know some of the people around you are not evolving and growing like you. So they're not going to understand it. And you want them to, but it's going to be hard to. So you just got to pray for them. And you got to continue to stride on and just know whatever you're going and whatever you're doing, long as it's for God, you cannot fail. You're going to fail your way to success, if anything. You're going to fail your way to God, if anything, if that's how you feel. But I encourage you, don't feel like a failure because everything else around you looks so different and you just look like you're just on this island by yourself. No, that's okay. Because God will uplift you. God will raise you up, okay? And those that are trying to become your enemies because you're changing, just know that God said he will make your enemies your footstool and he'll prepare a place in the presence of your enemies and bless you, okay? So you just have to be able to stay strong, hold strong. This season is going to be tough because you're going to evolve, you're going to change, you're going to be different, and you got to be able to let go of those old things and know that because you're letting go of old things, all things will become new, and it's going to be very good for you. Okay, I received this for myself. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Happy Sunday. Have a blessed rest of your Sunday, and I am praying for you, and God bless you. I love you. All right, peace.